We're going to begin kneeling or sitting, and if you're kneeling, take enough support underneath your sit bones so that you're comfortable. We're going to start just making some circles with the wrist. If you think about each joint, circles are pretty much the best movement you could do for your joint and other directions. Notice how that's different if you've got your fingers out or if you make a soft fist. Different feeling. Circles, and then elbow circles. And other direction, elbow circles. We're going to put the arms out from the shoulders and make the right shoulder go forward in a circle. And then the left shoulder forward in a circle. And then both shoulders back in a circle. Nice big soft circle for the arm. Beautiful. Releasing. A little treat for your hands and arms. And we're going to make the neck a circle. The head goes forward, round to the side, back. Creaking and crackling in their stay, and then go in the other direction. Try to move your head, not so much your chest. Gently with your neck. Good, and back to center. We're going to take the solar plexus, so where the ribs join, make that triangle shape, and imagine you could take that around at a same level from the floor. So you are pointing it to the horizon. If you breathe deeply, you might notice that really visceral effect on the breath, working on the diaphragm here. Go in the other direction. Letting the breath be satisfying. And letting the other joints that we've worked on feel nice and soft, just following along. Great. Now, we're going to bring the legs out in front and sit up onto your blanket. Just rest your left leg out and lift up onto your right tiptoes and try and make a circle with your ankle. You're going to keep your toes on the floor. We'll do this again soon, standing. See if you can get a nice big circle of movement and your toes stay on the floor. Other direction. And then release that side. So just rest your right leg out. Your tiptoes are on the floor. I'm going to make a nice big circle. Feel the length of your spine and the flow of your breath this morning. You tune in. You give yourself permission to Other direction with your nice big ankle circles. Good. Put your feet down on the floor and lean back. And find a really nice position for your spine. So you feel long, the chest is broad and spacious. And breathe deeply so that you can feel that expansion around that solar plexus part of the body, the lower ribs, the diaphragm. Good. We're going to keep that flow of satisfying breath and start to make a circle of your rib cage around your spine. Of course, when you lean back, you need to use the core musculature more core to support your spine. Good, and then in the other direction. So even though that movement starts to become strenuous, possibly, we want to keep tuned into that flow of breath. Nice work. Come into all fours. We're going to take the hips in a circle around the knee. And as ever, when we've got the hands taking weight like this, stretch the fingers, press the fingerprints. And then the circles in the other direction. Finding that flow, breath. Good. And then a wave-like movement for the spine. So bend your elbows as you need. Take your hips back as far as feels good. Try and involve the whole length of your spine right up to the base of the skull. So look forward. Feel that flow of breath. Nice work. We're going to come up into downward facing dog pose. So looking with your hand, that's your fingerprints. Knees are off the floor. Good. We're going to bring the inside edges of the feet together and lift the heels high to start with. Bend your knees and see if you can lift your hips a little higher and take your hips back. So as you take your hips back, your head will hang down a little bit more. Nice. And then try to press your heels down to the floor. So if you need to keep your knees bent so that you're not lifting your back up or your shoulders forward, then keep your knees bent. Good. And we're going to take the right leg up behind and just soften the knee. So you're bent at the knee and make a circle with your knee, as big a circle as you can, so you can feel the movement in your hip joint. Feeling the flow of breath. And take the other direction with that same knee. Good. And then releasing that side. So your knees are a little bit bent, but try to get your chest towards the front of the legs. Let the head hang down. Lift up the left leg and we'll just keep the knee nice and soft or bent. And we'll take a big circle with that knee, as big as you can, influencing the movement of the hip. And breathing deeply. Good. And then the other direction. Nice work. And we're going to relax now in child's pose and rest your hand. Finding that satisfying connection to the breath. Feeling the movement of the breath in the back of your body. Good. Bring the arms all the way forward into forward virasana. Lengthening the sides of the waist. Keep the elbows down onto the floor or bring them onto the floor and lift the torso. So you're in a forearm balance preparation. Good. We're going to take the hips back a little. Drop the hips towards the floor. Now you can rest them on the floor or you can keep them lifting a little from the floor. So we can feel that work in the core of the body. Draw the shoulder blades back, look forward. And try to make a circle now with the pelvis around the line of the spine. So the hips come closer to the floor, they shift to one side, they lift up a little, they shift to the other side. You can feel that awareness in the core of the body and then the other direction. Nice work. We're going to press back into forward virasana again. Knees out wide enough to fit your tummy and your rib cage. Enjoying the flow of breath and connecting to your breath. Connecting to all of the sensation and the wonder of the body. Good. And then downward facing dog pose. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll lift the heels high. We'll let your head hang down. Chest moving towards the front of the leg. And pedaling your feet a little. One heel presses down, the other heel presses down. Good. And then taking your little tiny steps towards the front of the mat so you can roll up and use that to try and feel that stretch down the back of the leg. Whenever you get stuck, then we're rolling on. Great. We're going to stand with the feet underneath the hips. I'm going to try those ankle rolls again. So lift up onto your right tiptoes. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor. But roll the ankle, the knee will follow, in as big a movement as you can, bigger circular movement. And then the other direction. And notice how much feeling, how much connection you can make to that joint of the foot, the feet and the ankle. Something so simple. Just remembering that for nice healthy feet. Good, and release that side. You could even do it sitting in a chair. And then the other foot. Probably enjoying it so much you didn't want to swap sides. And then reversing. So again, just remembering that these circular movements are something so easy to bring into all parts of your day. All right, we're going to take the arms up a little. Good. And find Uttanasana, standing forward bend. And then slide your hands up a little so you can really feel like you're making your back bend and look forward. Nice work. And then see if you can get your legs a little bit straighter, a but keep your back bent. Enjoying the breath. Good. And then we're going to take the whole torso. It's like you're trying to draw circles with your shoulders or the top of your head. Whole torso around the line of the spine. So you'll be lifting up a little bit. You'll be reaching forward a little bit. Going over to the side. Good. And then in the other direction. Don't go so fast that you make yourself dizzy. So find a rhythm that feels good. It might be very slow. Beautiful. Come back to center. Just let your head hang down and the back of the body stretch. And then bend your knees and inhale. And rolling up, arms up. Good. And release. Bring your hands at your heart. Press your hands, draw the shoulder blades down. We're going to step the feet out and keep stepping them out until you've got a really wide distance. Turn the toes in. Make a little back bend. Feel where the hands press, the shoulder blades really are sliding towards the back waist. Good. And we're going to make a forward bend. Take your arms now behind you and hold on to your wrists, or you might be able to hold your elbows. We're going to reach the elbows away from the ears. Letting the head just hang down. Lift the inner arches of your feet. Press the outside edges of your feet. Lift the kneecaps, the sit bones, and enjoy the flow of breath. We're going to bend the knees. Let the spine keep lengthening and feel the flow of breath there. And then straighten the legs and see if you can keep an ease to all the joints of the spine. Good. And then we're going to draw little circles with the top of the head. They don't have to be particularly big, but you'll notice the spine works to lift up. The legs stretch differently depending on where the torso is. And then the other direction. Back to center. Good. We're going to release the hands back in front of the heart. Lift the heart and look forward and lift all the way up. Nice work. Take the arms out from the shoulders. Palms up. Little circle. And as you're doing your little circle, try and coordinate little heel-toe feet back to underneath your hips. And then releasing your arms. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Hands in front of your heart. Forward bend. Lift the heart, look forward. Straighten through the back of the legs. They might not go all the way too straight. So you can feel that stretch. Good. Now, we're going to get the feet back out to wide again. And if your hands reach the floor, You can put your hands down and even do little jumps out to wide, or whatever feels like a good movement. You might wiggle feet and toes out again. But this time, toes out. Here, hips start to sink towards the floor. So bending your knees, but lift the pelvic floor. Good. And we've got the hands on the floor for support. If you were really having trouble reaching this movement, you could have a chair in front of you and hold the seat of the chair. We're going to take the top of the head and make big circles out in front. So as you make those circles, you'll see the other joints of the body will follow along. And we keep an easy flowing movement. Keep the back of the neck feeling long. So we're not trying to squash the back of the neck. As you move the top of the head, we're moving the whole torso to draw that circle. And then the other direction. Keep the internal muscular support. Good, and then back to center. So really feeling the core of the body supporting. The toes are turned out, the hips have dropped. We're going to bring the hands back in front of the heart and lift without lifting the hips. So lift the torso. Let's see if we can keep the hips down. Nice work. Press the hands, draw the shoulder blades. Bring the arms out from the shoulders. Turn the palms up and make little circles. Lift the belly, lift the pelvic floor. Good, and then releasing. Lifting it up. Think about how to get your feet back to center, whatever feels good. Knowing that you can have an intention to move. And the body and mind will follow along. Finding your breath. Okay, we've got the feet under the hips. We're going to try and make a great big, well, it's not going to be that big, but a big circle. Top of the head is traveling around the center axis of the body. So the whole body follows. And what you'll feel is the weight shifting across the feet. And then the other direction. So far, so good. Come back to center. Let's try that on one leg. So you're going to stand into your left leg, lift up your right leg onto your tiptoes. So keep the toes on the floor. Just see if you can make that circle again. It's going to be a smaller circle. I've only got half the amount of muscle involved. See if you can tune into that and feel the weight move around your left foot that's on the floor. And the other direction. Nice work. Release that side. Let's do the other side. So standing into the right foot, lifting up onto the left tiptoes. We're trying to get the top of the head to draw a circle and the body to follow along without that feeling of rigidity that comes from the tension of the challenge. Keeping an ease. Tuned into your flow of breath, other direction. Can you feel the weight shifting around your foot? I feel like I'm hardly moving, but my foot is working. Good. And then releasing. All right. We're going to do Uttanasana again. Let's take the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Reach. And as you exhale, forward bend. Good. Place your hands up on your legs again so you've got plenty of room to move. And look up to bring the breath home forward. Good. And make those big circles again. So we're drawing with the top of the head and letting the torso follow. Feel the work of the core. All that beautiful awareness shifting in other direction. Good, and back to center, and then just let your head hang down. Let the back of the body just hang down, the arms dangle down. Feel the flow of breath, what it feels like to connect to your breath. Good, and then inhale and coming up. Urdhva Hastasana. Tadasana. We're going to take a wide-legged stance, so however you'd like to get out to that position. Great. Turn your left foot out at 90 degrees and your right toes in. I'm going to look opposite to you. And we're going to bend the left knee. So the left foot is parallel to the mat. The right foot, the toes turn in towards center rather than away from you. Good. And we're going to take the left hand and put it onto the knee. And if you can reach with enough ease for your body, put your elbow on your knee. Good. And we've got the right hand on the hip. Let's try to sink the hips a little bit lower, but really use that core awareness. Do you feel very supported in the movement? Good. Now, if you can keep reaching, it's possible to put your hand down onto the floor. Let's go for the inside of the foot so that you can connect your hand and your leg, or your arm and your leg, and from that connection, turn the ribs a little bit more. Good. You can take your right arm straight up or by your ear. So the hips are sinking down, the pelvic floor lifts, the lower front abdomen lifts. Feel the connection of your feet to the floor. The flow of the breath. Good, and then we're going to inhale. Press into your feet and come up. Ooh. Good, and then second side. So the right foot turns all the way out, so it's parallel to the edges of your mat. The left toes turn in about 30 degrees. Good, and we'll bend the right knee. Okay, and then decide where you're going to place your hand, right hand on your knee or your elbow. And we're going to roll back the left hip, the left rib. Feel that muscular support of the belly, the spine lengthening, the pelvic floor lifting. Good, and feel your feet. Nice. If you want to reach further, you can. Right hand down onto the floor inside your right foot. We drop the hip. See how you go, taking your left arm straight up, or even next to your ear. Finding your connection to the breath. And then inhale. Here we go. Beautiful. Hands in front of the heart. Anchor your shoulder blades down. Make a little back bend. Okay, so we're going to come to sitting from here. So you can do that in your own pathway, or join me to come into a forward bend. Place your hands down on the floor under your shoulders and hop the feet together into a little squat and sitting from there. And whatever that path of movement, enjoying your own. Let's take the soles of the feet together. We're going to support under the knee and lift the spine. Baddha Konasana. Feeling the flow of breath. Good. Now, we're going to keep the left leg there, bent, and take the right leg straight out in front. Reach the left arm back behind you and turn your whole torso to look back behind you. And then bring that arm up by your ear and swim it forward to reach as far as you can along the outside of your right leg. Maybe you reach the foot. Maybe you're holding your calf somewhere. Good. So we've reached as far as we can, but see if there's some room to move your spine as though you could make that circle again with the top of the head and the whole torso follows. So if you don't have any room to move, just slide your hand back a little bit so that you can make that circle. Other direction. Tuning in to the stretch, the tension and the letting go. Let the body feel smooth, malleable, supple. Good. And then releasing that side. Come up. We're going to do it again, so keep your legs where they are. But we're going to hold in a more traditional or a classic pose. Reach your left arm behind you. Reach forward to the outside somewhere of your right leg or your foot. You can bring your other hand forward wherever it helps with your balance, keeping the hips level, spine nice and long. Or you might be holding both hands onto your leg or foot. And we're going to stay still here. But with each breath, find that feeling of suppleness again, of movement. Even if it's just tuning into the movement of the ribs with the breath. Or maybe the shoulder blades against the rib cage. So that you're really noticing the suppleness of the body. And then inhale and come up. Good. And then soles of the feet together again. Sometimes I think we focus on the stiffness of the body. So all these little movements help us to really tune in to where we can move. Bring the left leg out in front. We're going to reach the right arm back and turn your whole torso to look back. And then swim that right arm as far as you can out in front along the outside edge of the left leg. Or maybe holding your foot. And then check it out. Did you reach so far that you now feel a little bit locked? Because we want to be able to make circles. And the circles we're making is drawing with the top of the head. No, circle, letting the torso follow along. Put your hand where it makes sense to be able to move your torso. Notice how the tension of the stretch shifts. Go in the other direction. Focusing on the supple movement. Good. And then we're going to release coming up. But we're going to go again. Keep your legs where they are. Reach your right arm back. Take the right arm up and really reach forward to the outside edge, the left edge of your left leg or your left foot. Good. Bring your left hand where it makes sense to keep an evenness in the spine. You might be holding your leg or your foot. And as you breathe, you start to make sense of your body in this posture. Find your suppleness. Feel the movement of the ribs with the breath. And then in. Nice work. We're going to lay down. Inside edges of the feet together, knees together, arms out wide. We're going to lift the hips and take them right, and the knees are going to go left. And at first, let's take a passive way of being in this pose and just appreciating all of the sensation, the feedback from being in this shape. And then feel the warmth of the core as you engage the whole core of the body to lift your feet and your legs just off the floor. That warming action. The shoulders and chest are staying well. Good, and we're going to really focus on the core strength to lift the legs back to center. Back to center and lift the hips, swing them left and knees go right. And at first, be passive here. Accepting that the gift of the shape of this pose. Paravatasana. Thank you, yoga. And then feel the warming of the core as you really engage there. Lift your feet and your knees just off the floor. But we'll keep the rest of the body relaxed. Good, and then keep that focus on the core of the body and lift the legs to center. Hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit inside. And as you rock, you might find that your spine is lengthening along the floor. And if you have time for your own shavasana, now would be a good time to straighten out your legs and lay down for that. Namaste to you. If, like me, you need to finish your practice, then rolling gently to your side. So you can come up to sitting. Mm. Tuning into the wonder of your breath, your body, your mind in this one moment. Namaste.